Hi friends, welcome to the Plain Fun RC channel. I'm your host Saul and we are packed and ready for Joe Nall 2022. Got everything in here. We've got our Rich Model Long Easy. We've got our Kyosho Phantom. And if you can see back there, we have our wonderful Mystery 3000 sitting right there ready to go. So we've got three interesting airplanes taken with us and real excited as the Joe Nall returns after its 2-year COVID hiatus. More to come. Hi friends, welcome to the Plain Fun RC channel. You can see we have arrived at the Triple Tree Aerodrome. Let me zoom in a little bit. We're here, ready to go. More to come. All right friends, as we continue our update, we are here at the Joe Nall. We are going to go ahead and finally get this Henri Farman up and running. The issue last year was the ESC not working. Let's talk about what we're going to be doing. So right off the bat, we've got an ESC here that we purchased, a Flyer ESC. You can find them on eBay or visit flyermodel.com. 300 amp. This does up to a 22S. And we're running 8-gauge wire. And you can see we also have Castle Creation connectors on the end. They're capable of 200 amps a piece. And we're going to be running 18S, which is why you see 3 here. So we're doing 3 6S batteries, and we're going to do an 18S configuration. Now, this was the old ESC mount. It's not going to work because the ESC that we had on there was a lot thicker, a lot bigger. So we're going to lop these sides off here and here, and we're just going to wind up putting it flat. We'll run Velcro straps underneath, some Velcro going right down the center there, and that'll help hold the ESC in place. All right, friends, more to come. All right, friends, we continue our update. You can see we've gone ahead, we've cut away those pieces of balsa. We're going to take our ESC and lay it nice and flat in here and run some straps over top and get some Velcro, and that should hold it in place. More to come. All right, friends, as we continue our update here, you can see we've got our ESC mounted. Pretty straightforward, just some minor modifications. As I mentioned, we removed those blocks of wood that were here. We had to cut away a little bit of this particular mount, if you will, and just put a strap in and then some Velcro back here. So we're ready to go. So we've got our batteries charged. Our batteries are going to mount here behind the firewall. We still have to add 10 pounds of weight. We do that's in the coffee can, believe it or not. That coffee can is not cookies. It's actual nose weight. We need 10 more pounds. So we're going to get that in there. And then we're going to run the engine up, make sure the ESC is working, and hopefully later this evening, we're going to fly for the first time. More to come. All right, friends, as we continue our update here, you can see everybody's coming in. They sounded the alarm or the horn, and everyone's coming in. You can see the line goes all the way back. More to come. All right, friends, as we continue our Joe Nall adventure, I know we're a little back and forth between the Henri Farman and what's going on, but you know what? That is the Joe Nall experience. There's always something happening. I'm here, I guess you could call it Memory Row. There's a lot of blocks around here, bricks, remembering various folks that have passed, but that's where I'm standing right now. But what an amazing view it is. You really can't go wrong with coming to Joe Nall. So if you've never been to Triple Tree Aerodrome and attended the Nall, let me encourage you, make it something that you definitely do at least once in your life, if you want to do it every single year. All right, friends, more to come. All right, friends, as we continue the amazing Joe Nall experience, this was the very first community build, in case you're interested. This is the Goldberg Valkyrie. And I know a lot about this because I helped build it. And we had the wings completely done and framed up in 6 days. But it only took us 8 hours to add in all the spars and everything. But you can see how big it is. You can see the wingtip extends almost from the very floor all the way up to almost the ceiling. That's how big that is. Gives you a really good idea. And it used a hacker A60 motor to power it with a 12 cell. And the wheels are steel. They're 6 pounds each. We need 12 pounds of nose weight, and they cut them in 42 minutes. And it was a lot of fun. We were up till 3 a.m. many a night working on that thing. And it's a wonderful plane. All right, friends, more to come. And as we continue our update, you can see the gorgeous P-51 owned by Mr. Pat Hartness, who helped create the Joe Nall. It is just a gorgeous aircraft, as you can see. Just beautiful. All right, friends, more to come. All right, friends, as we continue our update, you can see we've got the Long Easy together. We brought that with us. And then over on our table over here, we of course have our Mystery 3000 all set up and ready to fly. And then on the table over here, we of course have our wonderful Kyosho Phantom ready to go as well. All right, it's supposed to rain today about 1 o'clock, so let's see if maybe we can possibly get some flying in today. More to come. All right, friends, as we continue our update here, I thought I'd go ahead and take a moment, take a tour. I know this video is definitely a hodgepodge of different stuff. But like I said, that's the Nall. It's got a little bit of everything. So let's go over here real quick. Let's talk about the 1910 Henri Farman. So we having some issues with the ESC. We can get the motor to start, it kind of jumps to life, but then it makes a grinding noise at full throttle. So I think what we just need to do is just to redo some of the programming on the ESC to help solve the problem. So hopefully we'll get that resolved today. Let's take a quick look around. This might be familiar with this as well. Here's our wonderful 85% Cub as featured in the video in October. And in here you can see we've got quite a few aircraft that are hanging up. Some are Mr. Pat Hartness's, some belong to other folks, but we also do a lot of building in here. We do our community builds as well. Over here we've got someone working on the new Hangar 9 200cc Cub, and you can see we've got a cadre of other aircraft as well, including my good old Kyosho Phantom. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a full tour of the facility with day one of the Nall for 2022. More to come. All right, friends, here's our rolling tour of the Triple Tree grounds. We're starting in the back here, and let's go ahead and take you around. Airplanes up ahead, and we'll take a look at that in just a little bit. Right now we're just going to do a quick rolling tour. All right, working our way to the front to our classic flight line. We're just getting set up. There's our vendor row over there. See? All the vendors are just arriving. And let's go ahead. There's our classic line right over there. Folks are still getting set up. Let's head on down to 3D. There's some folks flying. right, folks, there's our our float flight line. You'll see it there. It's a gorgeous lake, huge lake. And right over there you can see where everybody flies, right there, where the tent is located. A bit bouncy. And directly up ahead, we've got our electric line coming up next. So there's a great shot right there. There's our electric line. You can see the runway right in the distance. And all the folks are getting set up on the electric line. Flight line over here, and camping is right over there. And if you're a person that's got a camper, they've got a full water and electrical setup as well, and a shower. We'll come back, we'll do a more in-depth look at these areas in just a little bit. All right, 3D line is coming up next. More to come. All right, friends, in the distance we can see over here that 3D flight line. We got some folks out there doing some flying. Go get a closer look. More to come. All right, friends, we're coming up on the 3D line. I'll take you on a quick tour and show you everything. All right. Triple Tree Aerodrome is definitely one of the greatest places to be if you're looking to come. Really enjoy yourself. Can't recommend it enough. Got a bunch of great airplanes here in the back of some trailers. Let me take a moment, take a look at them. There's the Kike Comenzzini, or right there, beautiful plane, just gorgeous. And you can see right there in front of us is the little hangout. Even got a little bar and everything. Beautiful aircraft here. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Who makes that, sir?
This is Flex Innovations.
Wonderful. Fantastic. All right.
This Roman.
So folks are getting together. In the distance, someone has put a plane in the water. As you can see. How fun is that? Very good. All right, let's go walk the line this way. I'm going to give you the long version of everything here. But if you don't like the long version, I'm definitely going to be putting up a truncated version of all the video I'm shooting here at Triple Tree. Why don't we go ahead, take a moment before we go through and walk the line. Why don't we take a moment to, let's see, I think this gentleman's going to be doing some flying. Maybe not. All right, well, we'll come back. First day of the Nall. Lots of flying to see and videotape. So at the 3D line, they have a Pallets Lounge. We'll take a look in there real quick. Oh, looks like it's closed up. You can see, great place to be. Oh, lots of neat stuff. All right, let's continue our tour.
How you doing?
Good. Not quite as many people here as in the past, and I can almost guess it's because of COVID, all things considered. But you know what? For a day one turnout, it's not bad. You had at least 500 pre-registered, 500 pilots. But usually that means you're going to end up with a couple thousand people altogether between pilots and spectators. Let's go take a look at some of the airplanes that folks are pulling out of the back of the trailers. It's always the fun part, coming to the Nall, see what everybody's got in their trailers. Great looking stuff right there. Now, sometimes the trailers are just as good looking as the airplanes themselves. All right, it's kind of the end of the line right now because people are still getting set up. We take a moment, catch some flying. All right, friends, we're here at the Nall 2022, and I thought we'd take a moment to get a shot of the new Mamba 120. Beautiful plane. Aircraft. Absolutely gorgeous. And available on Flex Innovations website, flexinnovations.com. All right, friends, more to come. All right, friends, one of the newest things they have here at Triple Tree for Joe Nall 2022 is the Quadricopter / drone FPV racing course. As you can see here, it's really set up really nice, lots of gates to get through. Just excellent. Really nice. Even a nice tent over there to get under in case it rains, and charge your batteries too. All right, friends, more to come. All right, friends, we're here at the control line. There's not a whole lot going on. Obviously, there really isn't anyone here at the control line itself. That's the tent over there, and that's pretty much it. Control line's just not as popular as it once was. But when it's here, it's really nice. So if you are a fan of control line, come on out. More to come. All right, friends, we're here at the classic line. We're getting ready to get some bad weather in just a little bit, so we're not going to be out here for very long. You can see the wind's really starting to pick up by the trees and the tents. I thought we'd take a quick second, see what people are pulling out of the back of their trucks there. Why don't we go left? Got to be a good 25, 30 miles an hour at least. But for the rest of the week, it's supposed to be really nice. Very quiet right now. Folks aren't pulling out at all. It's windy weather, rain is coming. supposed to start and not let up. Let's come on back here. A couple folks got some of their vans open, trailers. See what fun things they've got here. See all the good and fun things we're gonna have for the week. Got something fun sticking out the back. 50% scale Bookmaster. Look at that. That is wonderful. Or Young Master, sorry, a Booker Young Master. My fault. That's some wonderful aerobatic stuff back there. All right. Lots of fun things. Everything else is pretty much closed up right now. Oops. So, all right. Well, that's it for today. You know what? Let me go back the other way. Saw some folks had a few things. Let's go to the right. More to come. All right, friends. We're moving over to the right side. What I mean by right side is that, well, there's our central area right there. Facing towards to the right. Let's take a look, see what fun things people have in their tents and what fun things they have in their trailers. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. That is gorgeous. What is that there, sir?
A Viper.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Flies like that too.
Wonderful. Got some fun things in here as well. You can see we've got our Cub in the distance, our Horizon Hobby Cub. Also got some wonderful, great looking Warbird right there. And looks like it might be an extra right there. Fun stuff. Lots of fun stuff. All right, let's keep walking. See what fun things we have. All right, let's go take a look at some trailers here. See what fun things we've got in the back of the trailers, because the tents, kind of run out of tents right for right now, as people are still coming. Now, I want to point out a trailer that is the Mack Daddy of all trailers. That trailer right there, pan up and zoom in a little bit. That is a 2-story trailer right there. Sometimes some of these trailers are just as exciting to look at as the actual airplanes themselves. It's got a massive Leonardo in there, which is absolutely huge. But you can see it's literally 2-story. And that shelf raises up and down. Unbelievable. This gentleman made his a 3-story. Look at that. That is amazing. And we've got another 2-story as well. 3-story, excuse me. Look at that. Holy mackerel. That's gorgeous. And another one over here. That is meticulous. That's better than most people's shops. All right, I see we've got some fun stuff in the tent over here. Let's go take a look and see what this gentleman has. Great looking jets.
Hard to convince, you know? No, this is what I do.
Look at that.
I showed it on. Dude,
Just take
that
some
just
videos.
doesn't make sense.
Well, it doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Here, come with me. I'll show you. I'll show you 1,000
We
others.
all
You know,
see
show you
it.
1,000 other people with the
inspector who
sickness.
gets paid 60 grand a year, you know, he's not buying it, you know.
Yeah.
Gorgeous Leonardo there. In
I
the
will show
distance.
you. I will show you 1,000 people with that same sickness.
And a massive F-86
When I was at 300 acres, it was
right
fine.
there as well.
As soon as you go over 500.
As soon as you go over
But you
500,
got, I mean, you got it listed in different groups.
it
So,
doesn't matter.
Oh,
As
so
a
they-
landowner in the county, it's all combined together.
Gotcha. So it's
They make their
fine.
own rules to protect their turf, county to county.
The latest.
I know.
Just
I don't know the
gorgeous.
exact technical
And an Elster
lingo,
jet.
what was the reason, all that, but
As
it is
well.
what it is, and you got to live with it
Play
and
the game.
play the game. Gotta do.
Gorgeous pilot.
That was supposed to.
J10,
the meeting with
Pilot
the
RC.
commissioners was supposed to happen today. We have some inside
That's
loop
wonderful.
in the county, so we will get the green signal anyway. But it had to wait.
All right. Got a few other things down here. Let's see what else we've got. Let's see. All right. Here we go. As we continue the non-stop walking tour, Joe Nall. There's something fun in the back of someone's car there. A beautiful cap, Great Plains cap. That dates back a couple years. It's a fantastic covering scheme you can see there. A splash paint covering scheme. Very nice. All right.
Guys, we got lightning less than 6 miles. Let's not float.
And that's it. We've got some thunder and lightning coming, so we're going to pack it up for the day. That's day one at Joe Nall.